Welcome. Just wanted to make a short video today about God's will. Christ taught us to pray, "Thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven." And a lot of people want to know, how do I do God's will, or how do I know if something is God's will? Well, let's look at it from the other perspective. God's will be done. And you're either going with the flow or you're not. Now, why wouldn't you be going with the flow? Why wouldn't you be in line with God's will so that it's not even a question? In other words, you're just doing God's will. You live according to God's will. So, what is it that separates you from God's will? Well, you remember in the Garden of Eden, Adam was separated by what? First of all, by listening to another source, another authority, instead of Father. So that was a mistake. Now you look all around you, there are authorities everywhere, aren't they? Everywhere you go, there are authorities. Bureaucrats, educators, experts, everywhere. On television, on the internet, every move you make, you encounter some authority. Well, that's nice for them to be administrators. Okay, that's fine. To administer, things have to be administered. You know, the light bulbs on the street need to be replaced, and garbage needs to be collected, and streets need to be paved, and so on. But your authority is what? It's God. And how does He communicate with you? By way of intuition. You have a gift of intuition, which animals don't have. You had it when you were born, when you were a little child. You saw things. You took note of something. Maybe you didn't understand it. Maybe you puzzled over it. Maybe you didn't even puzzle, but you took note of something. Your intuition had you to take note of something, and somehow it was important for you to take note of it. And maybe you will later understood, maybe later it had some meaning, later, see what I mean? But that's your intuition. You saw a leaf. You saw the way the leaf twirls when it falls from the tree, for example. Things like that. And you noticed it. And when you were a little child, you also noticed when something wasn't quite right, when something wasn't fair, when something was unjust, when something wasn't true. You knew it. How did you know it? You didn't have to go to school. You hadn't even been to school yet. You knew it in your heart. That's your intuition. It's wordless. It's the way God communicates. Sure, He sends His prophets. We have the writings that are left from what some of the writers of, prophets wrote. We have that. But what does that do? All it does is confirm what you know in your heart. It testifies or bears witness to what you already know, or what you are given to see in that moment. You're given to see it, and then what you read there only it testifies or bears witness to it. Or what is there only serves as something to awaken you to your intuition. So you have that. So whenever you fall away from when you're not paying attention to your intuition, see, and you pay more attention to what others say, they make you doubt yourself. They make you feel like you're dumb and don't know, and they have the answer, and they want you to follow them. See? Now the other way, how else are you separated from your intuition? Well, when you make something too important. Make anything too important. Make too important what somebody thinks of you. You want to have them to have a good opinion of you, or think well of you. Make some item that you want to buy too important. Make saying something to someone, or getting even with someone, or trying to get someone to do something. Make some goal too important, and immediately you're separated from God's will. In God's will, everything would unroll as it should. Doors would open. You would turn left instead of right. Things would arrange themselves. You wouldn't have to make a decision. You wouldn't have to set a goal. Your only goal is to do God's will. Your only goal is to be close to what you know in your heart so you can detect it. Live by it. See? When you make something else too important, immediately you forget. See, when you're rushing, when you make winning the game too important, what do? You forget about sportsmanship, comradeship, friendship. Could be any game. Could be a parlor game with cards or chess, or it could be a tennis match. It could be any kind of a game. Make it too important. You forget about what's really important. You see? Make your career too important. Getting ahead too important. You forget about what's truly important. Years later, you look back and said, I missed all those magic moments. My life went by, and all I did was go to work and think about work, and my kids hate me. My wife divorced me. See what I mean? So, now are you getting it?